Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Dr. Ruth Anderson and Teri Angel here with Enlightened World Network. We bring you a meditation every day of the year. And today we're doing a silent meditation, which means that Teri plays some music for you. We ask you to meditate along with us. And then we'll come back, we'll go off screen, we'll meditate together. And then after about 25 minutes, we'll come back on. We'll share with you what we experienced during meditation. Spirit is always teaching us a lesson during these times, and I can't wait to see what's going to be uncovered today. Teri Angel, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ruth. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to put on the music now, so just enjoy.
Friends, we'll see you in about 25 minutes. There we go. And we're back.
We are back. Welcome back, everyone. We hope you really enjoyed that music and that you let it speak to your soul, as Ruth and I did, as we were listening and delving into what message does Spirit want us to know today? And that's always the question when we go into meditation. So in this meditation, we were traveling at a very high speed of rate, just going full out. And then all of a sudden, we encountered these balls of light, these circles, and came to that screeching halt so we could sit there and try to figure out, what is this? What is this that we're supposed to learn and see? And our circles were very different. Mine was simple. It was just a circle of light, beautiful, bright light, and it felt very engaging and very comforting, like home. And I just enjoyed being in that circle of light. As I looked over at Ruth's, it looked a little different. There were many layers to the circle. And in addition to that, there were things kind of floating around in the inner part that weren't integrated into the circle yet. So that brought us to a conversation about, how do we integrate the things in our life? And are there things that don't fit in our circle that maybe we should look at and say, oh, that's not mine? So we talked about many things, about experiences and how I'm looking at Ruth and her circle, and I'm looking at me in my circle, but it's really the same. We're all one mind. That's the bottom line. This is one consciousness learning and growing through the experiences that are being had in the physical realm. So what I'm experiencing, and people in my life, like a traveling companion that I have right now, I created that companion for me to be able to figure more things out, to grow more, to say, okay, I'm seeing things again for the first time through this traveling companion. I'm seeing excitement. I'm seeing joy. I'm seeing the question of, what do I do now? Once that I've experienced all of this, then how do I move forward? So with Ruth, she's integrating, okay, there's things that have happened. Ruth has been through a lot these last couple of years, and especially over the last year. So how to integrate all of that and the people that are there, and I think, Ruth, you're still figuring this one out, how to really know that that's a creation that you made. Those people that are in and out of your life, that's somebody that is you, just going through an experience for you to understand more fully. So maybe a fire was, okay, I created that so I could start anew, out with the old, and then create this newness of me. Everything that we do in life is on purpose. It's all part of God's divine plan. So many times I've looked back and I've seen the perfection, but in the moment that I'm going through the struggle or the challenge, I don't see the perfection. I see it as maybe a tragedy or a trauma. And really, it's just things falling into place so that I understand things more fully. So Ruth, I know this was kind of a tough one. This was one that goes very deep, which we sometimes do, but it takes some time to process it. And that's what we're encouraging every one of you that's listening to do. Start to process that thought that everything that's in your life is you having this experience for your soul growth. And whatever is happening, whether it's a child, a spouse, a family member, whatever it might be, look at that as you learning from it, as your soul being propelled forward because of that experience. You chose this. We all did. We chose this experience. So Ruth, it was not an easy meditation, but I think it came full circle.
I think we got
play on that.
Full circle. Well, it was interesting because as we're looking at these balls of energy. Teri's was, she had cute little pictures in it. She had, all these little things. And one of the messages with Teri's was that when you see this, it was almost like a primer. It was almost like a code. When you see this in your life, this is really meaning something else. So we talked about how nothing is as it seems, but everything has a purpose. So everything in Teri's circle wasn't necessarily as it seemed, but every single thing in there had a purpose for being there. And then to look at mine, and it's like energy rather than cute little pictures. And it's like, okay, how does this kind of work into itself? And then we realized that these were touch screens, and we could move things around and we could shape shift things. And it was like, oh yes, we are the alchemists. That beautiful message again. We are the alchemists.
Yep. We're constantly creating. We're creating through the choices that we make. Every decision and every moment we have to make decisions. Even if you're putting it off and not making the decision, you're making the decision to do that. So just stay in the moment, stay present, and let this life unfold the way it's supposed to for you, which is with ease and grace and lots of joy, lots of laughter. The more we laugh, the higher our vibration goes.
Well, and then there was a brilliant statement, Teri, by you. How are we going to live in this new you state? You've been through all these experiences. You've been through all of these life challenges. You're not the same person right now that you were yesterday or a year ago. Sometimes you're not the same person right now that you were 10 minutes ago, just depending on what you've gone through. So how are you going to live in this new you state? I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something when we just pause, just be the observer for a moment and just look at how you've changed. You'll see yourself differently because that feeling that's in there, it wants to be expressed. That new you wants to move forward in that state, not fall back to the worry and the panic and the fear, but stay in that excitement, stay in the childlike wonder, and just know that every day can be an adventure. We might not be at Disney World, but we can be in our own little playground and just go into it with love. Love is the answer. Love is what heals us. And, that was another thing that came out in this meditation. When there's a fire that you're seeing, if you're seeing somebody struggle, if you're struggling, just fuel it with love. Because the more we resist it, the more it grows, whatever it might be. The more you pour energy into the trauma, the tragedy, the more that becomes more expanded in your life. Fill it with love.
Well, and I think too, Teri, there's the assumption that, I'm going through all this life trauma. I'm this new person. How am I going to fit in with everybody else? But we forget they're also going through their own life transformation and evolution. So it's kind of short-sighted of us to think no one else has changed. I'm the only one that's done any changing. So if you can see everybody as this transformation, this fluidity, then it eases your going back into that situation. There's no going back. There is never any going back because nothing is ever exactly the same.
Right.
So it's just, how do I merge? I'm not going back on the freeway. I'm merging into a new lane on the freeway as I'm heading back to be with those people.
Yeah. And it's like, there was a message from the angels a few days ago about memories, that even the memories we have of things are not as they were because we change. When we were having that experience that we're remembering, we were different. We were totally different. And now we're coming at that memory from the now moment of who we are as we've shifted and changed. So the memory itself is going to be skewed. And we might think it was terrible when it was really not so bad, or we might think it was really, really good. And maybe it was, but maybe it was normal. So just know that when you're trying to look backwards and something might make you sad, something might trigger you into anxiety or panic or anger, know that that's not real. The memory that you're having of that event is different than what you think it was. And just go into it with, oh, okay, that was there, it happened, it's done. And how do I deal with it now? How am I handling in my now moment with all the knowledge and all the experience that I've gained? And it'll be a life changer for you. I know it was for me when I realized that those memories, they happened. The experiences happened. Let me just process the whole energy of it and let it flow. Just let it go, because you don't need trauma. You don't need any of that turmoil in your life. Life should be enjoyed. Life should be fun. So I choose to play on the playground myself.
And I'm glad to be on your playground, Teri.
I'm glad you are too. Let's swing on that swing set, Ruth.
There we go. Well, friends, thank you for being here. The silent meditations and the Wednesday meditation excavations are always so fascinating, because we just go into meditation with open hearts and open minds, and we just allow spirit to show us and teach us. And it's always a beautiful lesson. So thank you. Thank you for being here, whether it's with us while we're doing it or after the fact. The messages and the energy are all still very appropriate for where we are in life. So Teri, love you so much, my dear. Thank you. Thank you. And friends, friends, we'll see you here later at Enlightened World Network. Take care and God bless.